I'll go.
What's going on, Star Wars Unlimited fans? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to make a video before somebody else made this video. But today I want to do a quick discussion. It's not going to be a long video, I don't think. I want to talk about the phenomenon of which is Lake Country 34 HP base that is honestly under the radar. We see a huge surge of the Data Vault decks coming to life, doing really well in some of these big tournaments, some of these big PQs and tournaments going on around the world. But what we noticed from the big PQ at what was it, Chicago, Illinois, we had a Han Set 4 JTL Han Lake Country take 6th place out of a 118 person tournament. That should probably raise a flag that there's a lot to be explored. You know, with Django being banned and some of these cards being banned, opening up the meta, I think the meta is more open than we think. I know Data Vault's making a huge surge in the meta. I want to show you guys really what we're gonna. Well, first, before we get into the video, shout out to the Haven Games for sponsoring the video. Click the link in the description to get 10% off any of your SWU sealed product online. And also, huge shout out to everyone, our whole team. We just competed in a PQ here in Orlando over this past weekend on Saturday. It was a great time. A lot of our team did pretty well. We had a couple of team members get in the well, I think we got one team member that got in the top 16, and then we had a few that were within the top 32 of the tournament. I think it was around 79 players or something like that, so it wasn't that big, but still something for us to celebrate. You know, we're still getting into practicing more and trying to really place high in these tournaments, and I'm just really proud of our team going out there, showing off our jerseys, representing as a team, and supporting each other along the way in a big event. So shout out to the whole team, the 2D Base squad. Much love to everybody on the team, and yeah, I can't wait for the next one. We've got another PQ here at the end of the month in Kissimmee, Florida, and we'll be looking to practice up this month leading into that event as well. So awesome. Had a great time and got to talk with a lot of cool people, met some new friends and made some new friends along the way. And yeah, just can't wait for the next event. Let's get into this video though. I really want to talk about this. I want to go over a couple. So I'm going to look at 3 decks. I'll show you guys 3 decks. And when you look at Lake Country, there's not that many top placing tournament results. There are only 5 currently listed in SWU competitive hub. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the first one I want to look at. So the Han Solo 6th place deck. This one is very toolboxy in my opinion. It's got like a lot of random stuff you wouldn't expect. Like I think the one thing that stands out to me is that it's playing the new Home 1. Interesting there. Sideboard is basically topping off, I think, anything that is a 2 of in the deck. I don't really have a lot of practice with this deck. I've never played it, so I can't really speak on this one a lot. But I will say it's very interesting. Look how many 1-drops it has. It's really filtering into Han's ability with the odd cost stuff. So pretty much everything in here is odd cost, if I'm not mistaken. So it's definitely synergizing there, and it's got the Boshek and the C3POs to draw up a bunch of cards. And I mean, it's nothing that's like out of how you would normally build this deck, but there's really, I know a lot of people have explored double yellow, but I think right now with the Data Vault meta, we have to try to, like, if you're trying to make something really out of the box, you might want to look at Lake Country, because a lot of these decks, they don't really, I won't say they won't need a third aspect, but I think a lot of them can get away without having that third aspect. And this guy did pretty well. He got 6th place. I know it was on stream a few times, and he really impressed some people. And hey, if it's working out for him, he's figured something out that maybe some of us haven't looked at yet. And maybe this Lake Country base really needs to be explored more. But I was really interested to see how that one was playing. Like I said, I don't have a lot of practice with this deck. I have played against a Han. One of our players, John Rikovich on our team, he loves this guy. He loves the new Han leader. It is very annoying to play against. So, giving yourself 4 more health instead of just running a yellow base is interesting. I can see it just, delaying the game a little bit longer, and you're having to go the extra mile to get the extra damage on their base, so it's harder to deal with for sure. I like this list, and I won't be surprised if we start seeing this pop up in a few more tournaments and some of this tournament results we're getting in. Now we have Cad. So the Cad deck, which one was this? This one was... Okay, this was the online tournament Take the Initiative Season 13. This person placed 3rd to 4th place, so maybe it was a tie for 3rd. Let's take a look at that list. So Cad Bane, interesting because... I guess if you're running Tarkin Town, you've got like your Ruthless Raiders... You've got a couple of red cards, but if you really think about it, most of the list is built up of just yellow and black anyway, so I think he gets away with it pretty well. Looks like it's running some of the McClunky package. It's got tons of Underworld units as it should. It's got Sidon in the main board with 2 Bamboozle out of aspect in the main board, so they're paying 4 to play Bamboozle. Probably not bad, because on the 4 resource turn, Sabine's coming out with a Darksaber, and maybe this comes into play against Sabine. It's definitely going to come into play against a lot of decks that are playing the pilots, so I like this in there. You've got what else is spicy in here? It's pretty standard list. It's got the Relentless Pursuits to capture things. I think Sidon is a standout here as one of the new JTL cards, and then you have your Hotshot Blasters to push more damage, and sideboard just looks like it's topping off some of these 2-ofs and maybe some of the 1-ofs, doubling up on them. Actually, there's no 1-ofs, but looks like he's got just waylays on the side, maybe against some of these Han 2 decks that are dropping big units earlier. Maybe waylays like a way to bridge. Yeah, pretty sick list. Not surprised to see a lot of these cards in here. I see 1 Dryden Voss in the sideboard. Maybe with Cad, you're able to get him out and kill one of their units. So it's not a card that's being played right now. I think for 7, it's pretty expensive, but I can see it going in this deck and surprising some people. It plays the Boba Fett pilot, so we've got a few ships in here that we can put him on, and if not, he's a great 5/4 shielded unit for 5 on the ground. It's got Gamorrean guards in here to hold up some sentinels. Obviously, everything is basically yellow, so almost every time he is played, if you have another yellow unit out, he's getting sentinel. So I can see that being pretty good into Sabine. But yeah, it's just doing what Cad wants to do with 4 more health, and I think that's enough to justify trying it out at least, to see if it works. I actually played this list last night, and it was pretty fun. It felt like a Cad deck. I'm not a huge Cad player, but I love the idea of playing an underdog base. So I tried it out. I'd be interested to see if I build this thing out in real life, take it to locals, and maybe surprise some people. I honestly think it's simple as just having 4 more health. There's no real, puzzle around this. It's just, how do we make him effective while having 4 more HP? And a lot of people are going to say, well, just play Data Bolt and you get access to green. You can still do all of this and do it in green. Why not just flex on him and say that you only want 2 aspects? I think that's enough to cause some spice in your locals or at a big tournament. Just catch them off guard. They might not know what to expect, being that it's only yellow and black, but typically it's there's a telegraphic thing with this deck where people kind of expect what's coming out. I do like that it's playing the classic Forum Zuckuss package with just Cad Bane at the top. So you're really just pushing early damage, making your games bridge just by having the 4 extra HP is big. They've got some stalls in here with No Good to Me Dead, Waylay, McClunky to control their board, and Bazine to tap into their hand a little bit. So I think it's a sick list, and I won't be surprised if this starts popping up more. I think a lot of people have turned away from Cad Tarkentown because he's only got that 25 point base, and right now we need to be able to stand up against Data Vault, and having 25 HP is not enough. I do think that's why we've seen Quinlan decks go down in representation. I think Quinlan is still a very good deck and can easily steal games, but having more health is really where the meta is shifting to right now. And after a few big tournaments, I think it's safe to say that Data Vault is very represented. So you got to be able to stand up against these bigger health base decks. So shout out to this guy for not winning an online tournament, but doing very well against a lot of these meta decks. Let's look at the last deck we're going to talk about today. Like I said, this is going to be a quick video. I really just wanted to make this video to spark conversation around Lake Country. But the one I really want to tap into, and I know it's only a 30-person event, but there was a PQ that a Palpatine Lake Country ended up taking down in Mississippi. So let's look at that list real quick. So Palpatine, obviously, his main goal is to bridge to the late game. Bridge to the late game, drop the best end game in Star Wars Unlimited with your Devastators, Mauls, Vaders. We have our great top on here. With this, it's interesting because in yellow, you're missing out on like Change of Heart. You're missing out on a maybe using a CAD unit. Some of these cards that really do well in yellow, like you're stalling with No Good to Me Dead. You're stalling with Waylay. You're stalling with maybe Frozen and Carbonite. Not so much right now with Frozen and Carbonite just because of all the upgrade hate, but let's look at the list and talk about it a little bit. So the way he's bridging is he's got actually 2 Sentinel packages here. He's got the Emperor's Royal Guard and Phase 3 Dark Trooper. He plays a copious amount of the officials to make sure that Emperor's Royal Guard is turning on. So he's got Yularen, Poggle, Scanning Officer. That's going to turn on his Royal Guard Sentinel. We have Crumbs in here to heal with Yularen, so the heal 2 while you play Crumb when Yularen is out is really important. You've got 3 Confiscate in the main. I mean, a lot of people are running Traitorous right now, so all we see is like your whole bridge is 3 cost units. They can take whatever they want basically with Traitorous leading into the end game. But at least if you have 3 Confiscate, you can get rid of the Traitorous to get your units back. It plays the Black Sun Starfighters in space, so that way we can have some Sentinels in space and protect ourselves. It's got the Eager Escort Fighter ambushing 4/1 in space for 3, which has seen a recent resurgence. Just, you've got Bright Hopes in space, you've got Chewie units in space, so with this, just being able to chump a 4/1 and then, maybe finish off that unit with killing your own droid. That gets you 5 damage in space and can potentially take out an annoying unit. There's a lot of these Hantu Data Vault decks going around that are playing like these 5/7 big ships in space but having to do 2 damage to it, so having only 5 HP left, I see the math adding up in Palp's favor here because you can ambush a 4/1 and then just ping a droid and kill off that last HP of the ship. And then you've got your ramp, so in green you still keep your ramp, so you don't lose that with Palp. You need the ramp, so that's not going anywhere. We are stacked with 3 choose sides here because not having yellow and playing Change of Heart, which is obviously the better card in my opinion. I do like that choose sides. You don't have to use Palp's ability to kill their unit you take, as with Change of Heart you do have to have that extra resource to sacrifice their unit so they don't get it back. But with choose sides, give them a droid, or hell, give them something small like a Scanning Officer that's doing nothing, and take their whatever it is, Crate Dragon or Devastator or something big that they have. And then you've got the top end, normal top end, healing with reinforcement walkers. I would like to see like change of heart, or not change of heart, timely intervention in here to heal up with the reinforcement walker. And you could also use that with Devastator, so I think that's a good card that maybe there's a way to find that in here. Sideboard is recurring with Palpatine's return, another escort fighter to ambush, one more sentinel in space, an extra scanning officer. Maybe you side that in during Han matchup or any smuggle deck matchup, and then you've got 2 more sentinels on the ground just in case, maybe for the Sabine matchup, to make sure we're bridging to get to the late game that ultimately those decks can't deal with. I like this spice. I think I'm gonna build this out. I already have it basically built with my Palp Yellow deck, but I think I'm gonna swap some stuff out and make this change. What I really felt, so during the PQ, let me just we'll talk a little bit. So those are the decks, and now we'll do like a little bit of dialogue about it. So during the PQ, or leading into the PQ that we just had on Saturday, I was practicing Palp Yellow for like a month. Most of my matchups into these late game decks I was doing very well in. I made a deck list that was more around trying to deal with aggro, and my sideboard was more for the Kira matchup and control matchup. But one thing I felt just not confident in, and so background story before I continue, I ended up actually switching my deck the day before to Ray Databolt. And I'll tell you why. Basically, I ended up not feeling confident with a 30 HP base. It always came down to I felt like I didn't have enough HP. Into testing, we're testing against Databolt decks. It felt like they just had too much health, straight up, and I couldn't bridge as well. With this, I bet that 3 health, that 4 health will make a huge difference, and I'm excited to test this out. You know, obviously, it took down a 30-person PQ, so it's got to have some kind of legs. You know, your options are limited, but you have more health, so that right there tells, you know, it's kind of like Databolt. Like, Databolt, you have more cards, but your consistency is less. With this, you have less options, but your health is higher. Your card draw opening hand you're drawing 6 cards. So like with Colossus, you're drawing 1 less card in your hand, and that is a massive disadvantage. I actually think Colossus out of all these new bases is the least represented. It might be popular in some Palp decks. It might be popular maybe in the Anakin decks, but right now I think Colossus is the least represented. Mark my words, and this is why I'm recording this video, Lake Country is going to see a burst in play. Even with just, here, I'll share my screen again actually. Even with just a couple, I mean like literally out of all the tournaments around the world, filtered from 989 total entries, almost 1,000 tournaments, we have 5 of them that were placing, you know, moderate. And again, not high placements. 3 of these tournaments were in America with an established meta of Databolt, if you ask me. And it's still doing decent. So I think it's worth taking a look at. I think it's worth talking about. A lot of people look at Lake Country decks and laugh, and I'm like, I actually think these have legs. Right now I'm working on a Vader pilot Lake Country deck that's probably not that good, but I'm having fun with it, and it's interesting to see what we add in the deck and how to make it work with 34 HP and not having a third aspect. But I'm just real excited to see where this goes, and honestly, I'm not afraid to tap into the unknown and try this out at locals coming up. Who knows? Maybe I end up playing Palp 34 HP at the next PQ. I really wanted to play Palp, but again, I felt disadvantaged with only having 30 HP on my yellow base. So let's see how it goes. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Honestly, I want to hear, just roast me if you think I'm crazy for thinking that Lake Country is going to be good or is the next hit. I think Datavolt's going to take a dip, and we're going to actually see more of this available. That's just my opinion. I don't see why not. If it's doing well in some tournaments, it might be able to steal some of the bigger tournaments. We'll see. We will see. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe if you guys like the content. It was great chatting with you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.